Yo, what is up? What is up? I know what you're thinking, Brodes. It's 9:02. You're an asshole. My response, yes. Yes, I am an asshole. It is 9:02. And that's what I have for you to start the show. What's up? What's going on? Flyers. Uh-oh. 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 Don't get me started. Okay. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on this Flyer squad. Piss me off. That was a disgrace what we saw last night. An absolute disgrace. An embarrassment. A joke. This team is brutal. You're late, bud. No, you're late. No, I'm late. 9:02. 9:02. Yes, I did see the lineup for the Phillies. Apparently, the game is only going to be broadcasted on the Detroit Tigers radio feed. Yeah, come on. I mean, let's go. It's 2021. You're telling me I can't find a way to watch baseball. I mean, in what universe is this where we're at here in life? It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Do the Sixers win tonight? Elliot, I'm going to go with no. And I'm also going to take the lid off this. Actually, as much as I do love any coffee and I'll drink any coffee, I'm not a big dark roast guy. Now, I'll drink it if that's like someone's like, hey, I got you a coffee, and they give me a dark roast. Like, I'm not going to be like, ooh, I don't want it. But not preferred. I did go with the new coffee today. Just standard, just regular black coffee. But I switched it up and went a little McDonald's. Chris comes in here and says, Flyers lose one game and Carter Hart stinks. Yeah, someone tried telling me on my post-game pod that they read off the stats of Carter Hart after the game and said, like, he had a bad game. If you watch the game, like, the stat sheet will tell you he sucked. Did he suck, though? Not really, no. I mean, what are you going to do when Ghost throws a pizza delivery D to D, and there goes Kapanen, who apparently is Wayne Gretzky? There goes, what was the other one? Oh, geez, it was the... when Ghost and Provorov allowed two guys behind them right in front of the net. There was a power play goal involved, an empty net goal involved. I mean, Carter Hart was far from the issue last night. I don't have an issue with his game last night, to be honest with you. You got the mocha from McDonald's right now. Nice. Yeah, I couldn't tell you the last time I actually went to McDonald's for a coffee. I just bought like their big-ass bag, and I just make the coffee myself. Yeah, his numbers were not the problem. Everyone says McDonald's coffee is good shit. Like, because it's McDonald's, people might look at it like, oh, McDonald's. But apparently it's like, yo, no. You go to McDonald's for this. I mean, I've had it before in terms of like the bags to bring it home, though. I'm so scared to burn my mouth. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm going to do it. You know it's coming. Every day. Every day I do this. It's going to happen. Do I like Odubel playing yesterday? I'm not someone that has a huge problem with it like others seem to. But apparently he looked like he got a hit. He got a stolen base. So, you know, look, I think there's two ways to go about things when something like that happens in your life. And you can just continue to be a terrible human being, or you can turn your life around. And it does seem, and look, I don't know Odubel Herrera, but from what he's saying, from what Joe Girardi is saying, and what from Aaron Nola is saying, and what some of these guys are saying is like, it seems like this has been like a big change in his life. And to say that someone can't make a change after a horrendous, brutal, disgusting decision that they made, I think is unfair. So that's how I see it. Each circumstance is different. Just because I feel this way about Odubel doesn't mean I will feel this way about every single person ever in the world. But for this specific situation, I'm okay with it. I think he's going about it the right way, and I feel like he's genuine when he talks about making this change in life. That's my opinion. I don't have to make it where, you know, like I don't. It doesn't matter how you feel. I respect how people feel. That's the way that I see it, though. Mikey Davis says, I'm young. I don't really like coffee. That's normally how it starts. And then you have one sip one day that changes your life. Maybe it's college. Maybe you realize in college, like, oh, damn, I got an 8 a.m. I need coffee. Nothing worse than 8 a.m.s. Nothing. I had an 8 a.m. my senior year. How brutal is that? That should never happen. Never. Any thoughts on the Nuggets spanking the Bucks last night? The Bucks are one of the weirdest teams, man. They go through like a 4-game win streak, 4-game losing streak, 4-game win streak, crush teams, look great, look bad. It's wild. They are a very weird and unique team for sure. I can't get a read on them at all. I don't understand who they are, what they are, how great they are, right? Like, it's just weird, man. They're so inconsistent. Kyle wants to know, how critical does a win or loss tonight play into momentum carrying into the second half? I'll give you your answer. Zippo. Nothing that happens tonight will relate at all to what happens in a week. I love that. Everyone says that too about heading into the playoffs. Like, oh yeah, remember when they went on a 16-game win streak heading into the playoffs? Like, I'm not saying it's bad to be a good team heading into the postseason, or it's bad to have a nice run prior to the season coming to a stoppage because of the All-Star break. But in terms of, okay, how does this relate to when they get back? It doesn't. It doesn't. So that I don't put a lot of stock into it personally. Oh, they lose to Utah. You know what that means? 4-game losing streak when they return, right? I don't know. I have a different mindset with it. But with that being said, let's look up the Sixers schedule moving forward. And I know that there's a really tough stretch in there. Like, for example, they come back March 11th, right? They play the Bulls. Then they play the Wizards. Well, you play the Bulls and the Wizards, and I don't think – I'm never going to look back and be like, you know what they did to the Jazz? Well, now that's going to relate to what happens to the Bulls. But they do play that Spurs team on Sunday, March 14th. The Knicks are in the 5th seed right now in the Eastern Conference. Where's that tough stretch, though, that they have? Oh, geez. Warriors, Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets. That's a tough how do you do. Nice little 4-game how do you. There was another one, though, that was even worse, I thought. Brooklyn, Clippers, Warriors, Suns, Bucks. Damn, there it is. So you're going to have a 5-game stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A 6-game stretch. Brooklyn, Clippers, Warriors, Suns, Bucks. But the difference is this is at home. And I do think that there's a difference when you are playing at home for this basketball team, right? So that is definitely big. You going to catch any Flyers games before they probably get shut down again from fans? Why would they get shut down again? I don't think that's I think we're in good momentum here. I do not think that. Why would they get shut down? I think we're starting to get our way back into things here. I saw other states are starting to go full throttle. But I'm happy that fans are back. I'm stoked for Citizens Bank Park to have about 8,000, 9,000 fans. Here we go. I'm pretty damn excited about it. I really am. Really am. Yeah, before we started all this, I had that SeatGeek promo code, and that was unbelievable, right? Everyone could get $10 off their tickets and whatnot, and then now this is happening. So who knows? That is a good point, though, with the SeatGeek code. Yeah, I'm pretty interested to see what's going to go down with that. But I'm excited, dude, to go to Citizens Bank Park, get a hot dog, maybe go with that ice cream. I like a nice waffle cone. Oh, I do. I really do. But you know, when you go to a baseball game, you get the helmet. You get the helmet with a scoop of vanilla and chocolate, or like the soft serve, and load it up with Jimmy's. Melts all over your hands. You're licking the ice cream off your hands. And you grab your IPA and you're like, oh, God, ice cream and an IPA, that sounds miserable, but it's not, because you're already drunk because you hung out in Jetro for 7 hours before the game playing cornhole, throwing the football. You're burnt because you didn't put on sunscreen. It's amazing. I can't wait. I had the goosebumps thinking about that. Goosebumps. Nothing like the Jetro parking lot. You know, if you're not in Jetro, you're an idiot. Right? Oh, I got to park at the link. Huh? You got to park at the link. Why? You don't want to walk as far? $10 at Jetro. Brodes, am I into Villanova basketball? I enjoy them. You know, the fact that they're in a national championship level, even though I know they had a stinker I enjoy them. I'm not diehard. I'm not watch every night. I'm not that for Villanova, but I thoroughly enjoy watching them when it gets around the tournament time. I root for them. I'm just not like, hey, I got to watch every Big East game. Oh, Villanova's playing Providence tonight. I got to be set to my TV. I don't get to that level with Villanova, but I really do enjoy it. I'm not from Philadelphia, inside the city of Philly. I'm right outside. I live in South Jersey. If I go for a coffee, not from home, other than Wawa, where do you go? Well, Wawa is number one. I just thoroughly enjoy a cup of mud from Wawa. You go there, maybe I go hazelnut. I'll sprinkle a little. Look, I love my black coffee, but that's specifically when I make stuff at home. If I go to Wawa, maybe I throw a little splash in there. Maybe I do it just a tad of hazelnut, a tad of French vanilla, just a little. But I'll do black there as well. It's not like I'll never go black there. But Wawa is clearly number one favorite. And, I guess Dunkin', but I don't feel the same getting Dunkin'. I think the Flyers' offense is coming around. The D is still bad. I don't know. I think one line, Ethan, is playing fantastic. I thought Claude Giroux's line had a tough day at the office. They were -2 last night. Nolan Patrick on that line is not providing what you need them to provide. But the offense, like it's Joel Farabee, Kuti, and JVR. Other than that, where are we with this offense, right? And I love that line. And I love the fact that Joel Farabee is like putting in a heavy load, because some would be like, oh, well, Sean Couturier is carrying that shift and carrying that line. And while Sean Couturier is a huge piece to that team or that line, and a big reason why they're able to play the two-way game that they play, man, Joel Farabee is really providing what he needs to provide that line. He's a big impact player on it. So it's wild. Any stadium you want to go to, but you haven't. Yeah, my first is always Wrigley Field and Lambeau Field. Like, those are the two. But Wrigley always stands out to me first, like an afternoon game at Wrigley. But that's a good question. If you're in the comment section right now, I want you to post your favorite stadium that you haven't gone to yet. To me, it's easy, simple. Bang, Wrigley Field, no doubt about it. Doesn't even have to be a Phillies game, to be honest with you. I would love to see a game there. And another one would be Fenway, right? Like a Fenway, a Boston Red Sox-Yankees game that's meaningful. I think Fenway Park would be a great atmosphere for that. But I think I got to go with my gut. My gut told me Wrigley, and I know that Lambeau's in there, and I know Fenway's in there, but I'd have to go Wrigley. MSG gets thrown into the mix. Now, if you're going to MSG, is this because of a Knicks game, playoff team, or Rangers, who stink? Like, what do you want to see at MSG? Ooh, San Francisco going out there for a little Giants action. The Warriors Stadium. I think it would have been cool to go to the Warriors when they were maybe in that 2015, 2016, that run of Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and all. Now, I don't know if it would be that cool, but it's not iconic, right? It's just because they're a good team. Going out to Oracle is like, okay, like it's not iconic. It would be cool. And I'm not knocking your thought process. Like going to a packed barn at a Golden State Warriors game back when they were like really in their prime. I'm sure that would have been fantastic. I just think that there's so many cool ones out there. I'm an Islanders fan, so I don't go to MSG. Well, you get to go to you get the car in the corner, right? Where do they play now? The Coliseum? Wait, do the Islanders? I know the Islanders were trying games at they were trying things at Barclays, weren't they? And then they stopped. Ooh, the United Center for a Blackhawks game. Yeah, that's got some juice to it. I don't know if that pops the same though as a Wrigley or like a Fenway. But it's a unique one for sure. The United States, the Hawks would have to be good. Although the Hawks seem to be playing good now. I mean, they're in like third place in the Central. And they made the playoffs last year. Keep in mind, a little bit wonky. Where are those pesky little Blackhawks? They're in 4th now because the Panthers jumped them. Still in a playoff spot. And they're in a pretty, not insanely comfortable, but Columbus is 23 points and Blackhawks have 28 with the game in hand. There's something to it. Might be a little Blackhawks in the playoffs. Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Now that is really out of the box. Oh, well, I pull up this guy's post because I see Mercedes-Benz. I'm like, who in their right mind is like, I really want to go to Atlanta, right? Like, I really want to go to that. And then I see a Braves logo. Come on. The Falcons, they blow every single year. They really do. What happened to the Sixers thing where you could go to the post-game conference and ask questions? Oh, I became a on-air personality. So I started out as a Sixers insider for 97.3, but then I had an opportunity to be on the air from 2 to 6, co-hosting Afternoon Drive. So I took a step back from covering the Sixers for the website, and I wanted to be an on-air host. So they kind of conflicted. I couldn't do both because, my dream was always on the radio. So that kind of got me in the door, and then I made a transition. So that's what happened there. The division stinks. Now, as much as I want to say the division stinks, because the bottom of them with Dallas and Nashville and all that, but with Tampa Bay, Carolina, Florida playing the way that they're playing, I get it. Columbus isn't that good. Red Wings, they stink, but maybe it is a product of the division stinking. I think it's a little bit of both, though, because the Lightning are good. The Hurricanes are good. The Panthers are good. So it's not as if, hey, I'd have to dive deep into their results, though, against who exactly they're beating. They lost to Carolina the last time they played. Let's see. They beat the Stars. They beat Carolina on February 4th. I want to see how they did against Tampa. Lost to the Panthers, lost to Tampa, that was early in the season, though. I don't know. It's hard to judge, but it's a good point to bring up. It's very reasonable. Eagles should trade back to get another pick and Pitts. Well, if you trade back, Pitts is like the talk of the draft at this point, right? I was like, oh, Pitts, versatile. You can use him in so many different areas. You can do this and that. I don't know where he's projected to go at this point because there's always a player. It's normally a quarterback, and there will be a quarterback that rises as well. And it will be like, hey, this guy's going to, you think he's a 10th overall pick, and then by the time the draft comes, he's the 3rd overall pick. People's stock just rises and falls during times leading up to the draft. And with Pitts, it seems to be like a kind of a rising player. So I don't even know what range he's going in at this point. You know what I mean? Oh, man. I got a $2 donation coming in from Christian Romeo. $2 donation. Ghost is more of a defensive liability than a D-man. Well, of course. Yeah. Look, he had 2 games in a row where he scored, and everyone's like, oh, we got the ghost of 2 years ago, 3 years ago. No, 2 games is not enough for me to say that. Now, to be fair, is one disgustingly brutal, pathetic game enough to say that's who he is once again? No, it's not, right? So you got to look at it from both ways, but you cannot go from I can't find the lineup to I'm going to log 20-plus minutes and play with Ivan Provorov. That is not good enough for me. That tells me your defense sucks. If Shane Gostisbehere goes from I can't play, I am abysmal, I'm terrible, to I'm on your top 2 D pairing, your D stinks. And it's a problem, right? Here's the thing, though. The Flyers do a good job at bouncing back. Under Alain Vigneault, they've done a good job at responding after a dud. So I fully anticipate a nice effort, a nice outing against this team. I think that they will play probably better, right? Because they have under AV. So I think it will happen. And I expect Ghost to bounce back. But, I have problems with Ghost going from I'm one of your scratches, your health bombs. And I know people will say that, well, he was injured or, he wasn't mentally there and he was not confident because of his injuries. Well, guess what? There's a reason why he's not confident, because he doesn't make a lot of great plays out there. How about that? If the Eagles draft Chase or Smith, which other wide receiver starts with him, Reagor, Goedert? probably Greg Ward in the slot, right? So maybe you have something with Greg Ward in the slot area. You can move around things, right? And keep in mind, like, you might have 2 tight ends. You might do a 2 tight end set. You're gonna pick up another tight end. Nick Sirianni apparently likes the 12 personnel. So it's going to be different each play, each snap. It's not going to be like, hey, these are your guys. So with Miles Sanders, Goedert, Reagor, if they do pick up Chase or Devontae Smith, they have Greg Ward. What's Fulgham? Does anyone have a damn clue on what Travis Fulgham is? To be fair, I'm not someone who's going to anticipate Travis Fulgham coming in and being some stud no matter what he did for 4 games, because all of his other games have not been that. But I don't know how you show that type of skill set and then become nobody. And there were reports about his practice habits, but the more and more I see anything related to the Eagles dropping news out there, I wonder if that was the this is how brutal I think they are internally. I think it's a possibility that Howie Roseman, Doug Peterson, and these guys were dropping out information because all they wanted to do was have Alshon Jeffrey play instead of him. So what are they going to do? They're going to leak information, lie, say that there's a practice problem so it doesn't look as bad that Alshon Jeffrey's playing over Fulgham. But in reality, that's not the case. Like, I really do feel that that is possible, and that's something that went down. Like, that's where I'm at now with this franchise, that they are lying about practice habits to force Alshon Jeffrey down our throats. And, you might laugh at that, but look at where we are today. Look at what you saw. You have to like what you're seeing with Jalen Hurts putting work in. Never really saw it with Carson in the offseason. All right, this is something I want to touch on, Ethan. And you're a loyal listener. I respect everything you say. I love the fact that you comment and you hang out. But this is where we're at with social media, and this is the problem. If you post something on social media as an athlete, oh, this guy's working hard. This guy's working hard. But if you don't, ooh, that guy doesn't train. Look, Carson Wentz is trained in the offseason. Every NFL player is training in the offseason. But then there's a line. If there's someone who posts all the time, Ben Simmons, for example, and I'm bothered by Ben Simmons shooting. I'm sick and tired of Ben Simmons shooting. When he does it and he posts it on social media, oh, shut up already. Do it in a game. We don't care. Stop posting on social media. It's just weird, this dynamic of some guys can do it, and when they do it, it's, oh, they're working hard. Other guys do it, they do it, and it's like, shut up, just show me in a game. And then if you don't post at all, apparently that means you're not working out at all. Like, that's not the case. Carson Wentz works in the offseason. All of these guys squat in the offseason. You see a picture of Jalen Hurts with a lot of weight on the racks to get all fired up. Other people are doing it too. They're just not blasting it around on Instagram. So for me, to see Jalen Hurts do something like that and then apply it to, well, others aren't doing it because they didn't put it out there, that's where the disconnect is for me. That's where I have the problem. And I'll put Ethan back on because he commented back. That's true, but Carson hunts with his dogs more than he practices. Like, you're just saying that, right? Like, that's not actual information. What if Carson Wentz works out 3-4 hours a day and then goes and hunts with his dog? And then Jalen Hurts works out 3 or 4 hours a day and then plays video games, hangouts with his friends. Like, you don't know that. That's just saying something. There is no proof to it. And look, I understand this is all opinionated stuff, but I think we're going out here on a big reach that he hunts more than he practices. That I have nothing to base that off of other than, you just throwing it out there and saying it. So I can't go down that road. $5 donation coming in from Keith Richman. Love coffee with Brodes. After yesterday's contribution to the Brodes Tattoo Fund, I scheduled a 3-session leg tattoo. It's so addictive. Keith, that's amazing. And I'll tell you this. I want a leg sleeve so bad. So here's the ultimate goal, right? I have full color sleeve for the most part. There's a little something that needs to get done, inner bicep. But for the most part, I got to clean up, touch things here and there. Full color sleeve. Then it goes into a chest piece, which I don't have yet. The only other tattoo that I have is my half sleeve of this that still needs to get colored in. So originally, I wanted to do full color chest piece. Color that fades from color to black and gray, and then you get a black and gray tattoo sleeve. So it would like transition into that. And then it would have a full leg sleeve in color. But now I'm just going to do it all color. So it's going to be color, 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 color. So 2 arm sleeves, complete chest piece color, full one, just 1 leg sleeve, 1 in color. And that's the goal at this point. But dude, I'm jealous, man. Is there a way for you to send me some pics on what you're getting? That's unreal. Now you got me thinking like, it's time to go get this thing colored in and finished. I can't believe it's waited this long, but I kind of brought this up the other day about it. The word I was looking for was negative space. It almost kind of looks sick with the negative space, the way that it like shows the whole entire graphic. I love it, but it might be time to get it colored. It's just, normally you don't keep an unfinished tattooed like this forever, but because of the negative space, it kind of looks sick. $2 donation coming in. Flyers need to trade for a solid dman ASAP. Yeah, not breaking news here. They have problems. They have issues. They need to do it. It's embarrassing is what it is. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing that they play with. I agree with Brian here. Brian Sherman. Jalen Hurts is marketing himself. Carson promoted hunting, family, and God. And I don't, like, if that's Carson Wentz, fine. I don't want Carson Wentz to be someone that he's not. And clearly he's not that guy. And that's fine, right? Like, you don't need to promote you don't need to do that. That's not the only way to do things. I feel, though, Jalen Hurts is taking this Bryce Harper approach. Bryce Harper with this Philly fanatic shoes and bat and shirt and Clearwater and this and that. You know what he's doing? He's marketing himself. Like, he doesn't completely 100% feel this way. And he's a marketing genius. Some can take that road. Others, Carson Wentz is a family guy. He's a God guy. He's a hunting guy. Be you. I'm not going to demand you to be someone you're not. I don't want you to be somebody that you're not. And guess what? When Carson Wentz was playing well, none of that mattered to anybody. And I'm not saying it mattered to you, Brian. I'm just throwing it out there as a general conversation. When he was playing well, it never bothered a soul about what he cared about in life. Once he started sucking, now it's, he doesn't care because he only cares about God or hunting. And I think that's where it gets like a little ridiculous, right? That's where it gets a little ridiculous. I do not want a Furcon korkmaz tattoo. I do not. I'll post it on Twitter. All right, cool. Yeah, Keith, I want to see it. We got a $10 donation from Nick. Looks like a Braves fan, too. Thank you so much for that, by the way. I really do appreciate it. Is the NL East the toughest division in baseball? Yeah, it's up there, right? So let's look through some of the divisions. I do think here's where I think, and maybe I don't think I'm overhyping them, but I do wonder if the Padres are going to be top heavy. I like the Braves. And I think that they're the most realistic championship team out of the NL East. But if you look at the Dodgers and the Padres, are those two as the firepower? Like, all right, so I think the Phillies and the Nats are more competitive than anything you're going to get in the NL West with the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, the Giants. Like, I don't think they're going to hold on as much as maybe the Nats and the Phillies will. So in terms of overall depth in the division, I think the NL East is going to have that power. But in terms of the top tier talent, with the Dodgers and the Padres, does that outweigh the Braves and the Mets? And I think the answer is yes to that question. So top heavy wise, no, but overall competitiveness, yes. Now, if we look at the AL, the Red Sox aren't going to be that type of team to battle with the Yankees. Although Yankees, what are the Rays? They blew up a little bit, but do they ever blow up, or do they just bring in this different talent that ends up being dogs, and they're all no names that you never heard of? You just don't know what you're going to get out of the Rays because you never know these damn players. The Blue Jays are going to be competitive, so Yankees, Blue Jays, Rays, probably not as competitive. And yeah, so Central, no. Got the Twins. What is anybody else? The White Sox are a fun team. I think it's I think overall depth, yes. Top tier talent, I'll probably go NL West to answer your question. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. Thank you. Is Ghost the Furcon of the Sixers? Probably, dude. Probably. That's funny. That's a good one. Well, the NL West has the Padres too. The Padres. The Mets are overrated. Yeah, I don't know what to expect from the Mets. Now, everyone's just laughing at them because the Mets have always Metsed. But now you have a new owner, right? And what happened with the Sixers when Daryl Morey came in? Now, I know Daryl Morey's not the owner. My point, though, is there's a significant change when something happens up top internally, big time. Whether it's just the culture side of things, whether it's the spending money side of things, and it's all of it with this Mets team. You can't say like their old regime automatically ties with this new regime. It's a whole new time for the New York Mets. So I don't think it's the same. All right, so on Twitter, we ended up getting. Did you tweet it at me or you just tweeted in general? Let me search your name, Keith Richman. All right, I don't see the picture. Is there a way for where did you tweet it at? Did you send it to me in a message? Did you send it? Where did you send it, Keith? I'm pretty interested to see the tattoo now. Now you got me all excited. You tweeted it at me. Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. That's detailed as hell. I love it. Now you're going to get color and full, and this is going to be your whole leg. And where's the shell going to be? Is that going to be on your calf, or is it going to be flipped around where it's on your shin? Because it does seem like the shell of the turtle would actually fit pretty damn well on the calf. It would be like a good shape for that. But where is that going exactly? That's sick, man. That's sick. When someone starts showing you like, hey, this is the tattoo I'm going to get tonight, I know this is going to be like, all right, now I got to figure out what I'm getting up top. Although I kind of understand. This is like a whole rainforest scene, and I wish I could like show you exactly where we're at here with it with like my arm and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it's a rainforest scene, so I'm just going to go up the rest of the arm with it. But that is unbelievable, and I'm jealous. Calf, back of the leg. Love it. Love it. Brodes, do you play fantasy basketball, baseball, hockey, or football? I play fantasy football every year. I'm in basketball for the first time this year. I know this might be like a weird take, but I am not like a huge fantasy guy. I don't think fantasy is that fun. I think fantasy is so overrated, and I'm just not a fantasy guy. Like, I enjoy sports. I want to see real sports, watch sports. Fantasy sports is like its own different game, and it's tied to sports, so people love it. And I get why people like it, but it's not sports. And I love it. It's like, oh, you do sports talk radio for a living, and you can't win fantasy? Yeah, because it's not the same. Being like, and like that's what you do in sports talk radio, a 4-hour show. Let's use 97.3 as an example, from 2 to 6. Your job is to talk sports, be knowledgeable about sports, and be entertaining. How does that tie to if Alvin Kamara isn't used by Sean Payton in a week where like you need a big game, or you have 4 wins on the season in fantasy and you got to get the 5th one so you don't come in last place to have to eat a hot pepper or something as a losing fee. Like I just don't get it. I don't get how it relates, but I am not like a big fantasy guy. I think it is extremely overrated. I do it because I have a group of friends that we've done it for years and years. And, we're part of the group chat. It's like all my best friends. We're in the same league. We've been doing it for 5, 6, 7 years now strong. So we really dove deep into it. But it is overrated. It is overrated. Do I think the Sixers will beat the Jazz tonight? I don't. I do not think so. I think the Jazz are just playing fantastic basketball. I do not think the Sixers will win tonight. Plus, you don't have Tobias Harris, which is a huge loss. And I don't know if I can expect Corky to give you 20. I don't know if I can expect Shake Milton to give you 26. It's been a while, but maybe this is what gets Shake Milton going, right? Maybe that's what it is. My league is competitive. My league, you can win thousands. And my league is fun. So I do have that in play here. Like, I'm in a group, 12 of my best friends. We're all playing. We all put in a good amount of money. It's very competitive. So it's not like one of those, hey, let's just sign up in some random Yahoo and play with nobody that I know. This is a structured draft. We go to the same place together. Like, it's all real. So is that Lulu that I'm wearing? Well, yes, it is. Dry Sense hoodie. One of the best. I have it in gray as well. Brodes, your top 5 NHL players right now. Top 5 NHL players. Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby still on that list, Austin Matthews, Nathan MacKinnon, and who am I missing? Man, Patty Kane is on a tear. It's hard to leave him out. Mitch Marner, it's hard to leave him out. Mitch Marner is disgusting. Leon Draisaitl's a good name. Who would I put there in my fifth? Patty Kane is having a hell of a year. It's hard not to put. Oh, I'll go with Patty Kane. Those are my top 5. Now let's see where that stands with where point production is, because I don't even know. I don't know where that even lines up with the production of. But Mitch Marner, man, it's hard to not have him in it. So who did I say? All right, I went with Sidney Crosby. I went with Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews. I already lost who I said. Patty Kane, and who was the other one? Who did I miss? Someone remind me. Who did I miss? I'm going to try this again. I'm losing my mind. Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews. Oh, I said Nathan MacKinnon. That's the one I missed out on. Nathan MacKinnon. Even though, like, I feel like it's crazy. I feel like Nathan MacKinnon isn't even, like, tearing it up like he normally does. He's having a tough little how do you do, but he's so nasty that, it's hard to not have him involved. Nathan MacKinnon is 21 points in 18 games. Like, imagine me thinking that that's bad, you know? But yeah, that's where we're at here. I think those are my top 5 in the NHL today. $10 donation coming in from Pags. New mug today, but cheers. We got a little Eagles hat of you. The Flyers defense still blows. I wish I could take that $10 and give it to Chuck Fletcher to go spend out on a defenseman, but unfortunately, that won't get us the product that we need. There needs to be a major change. If you can go out and get Ekholm, go out and get Ekholm. If you can go out and get Philip Forsberg with Ekholm, go out and get Philip Forsberg with Ekholm. That's what you need to do. Go find a defenseman. You got to. It's getting embarrassing. It's getting brutal. How do you not make a call tonight? Or last night, I should say. I'd be on the phone in the middle of the game. While I'm in Pittsburgh with all the fans, I'm picking up the phone and calling other people. I really am. It's that bad. I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to make moves. Like, what if Ekholm isn't the guy? Because right now, Ekholm is the easy answer. Go get Ekholm. Go get Ekholm. Go get Ekholm. Well, what if someone else swoops in and gets Ekholm? What if someone puts together a better package? What do the Flyers do then? Like, what is the alternative? I don't know. I really don't know. It's where we got to trust Chuck Fletcher. Where I saw some other good questions on there. Top 5 Phillies players right now or forever? Because let's be realistic. If it's forever, Chase, Jimmy Rollins, and Ryan Howard are on there. Cole Hamels is on there. At that point, it gets too 08-ish when you start talking about favorite Phillies ever. Like the Phillies stink, man. Their organization stinks. There's a reason why they're one of the most losing franchises ever. They stink. So there's only one real stretch. You had the early 90 run, and then you had 08. The only thing like, favorite Phillies, it's like everyone has the same 5 favorite Phillies because they've only had one era of, like, great baseball. Unless you start talking to the older crowd. Then they'll start throwing the early 90 team in on you. Lucas, there's a big difference here. Big difference. Lucas says this. People slander Ben for averaging 16, but Rudy Gobert only averages 14, and I don't get it. Where do we begin here? Rudy Gobert, in no way, shape, or form, ever was thought of to have the skill set of a man that can dominate the NBA like Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has the potential to dominate the league with an insane force, take over. Rudy Gobert is a defending big man that is good at defending. That is so not even close to being relatable to the skill set of Ben Simmons. Rudy Gobert can't drive and penetrate and ball handle and do everything that Ben Simmons can do offensively. Ben Simmons has the intangibles to do what he did when he dropped 40 plus, when he scores 30 plus, when he scores 28 plus. Rudy Gobert he doesn't have the skill set to consistently do that night in and night out. Ben Simmons does and doesn't. Rudy Gobert does not and doesn't. There's a difference. There is this area in Ben Simmons' skill set that he doesn't tap into that he can. And when he does, we are talking about elite. Rudy Gobert is a very good center with a very good defensive mind. Elite is not like his top ceiling. It's not. Rudy Gobert is a very good center, defensive center. He's not this star that Ben Simmons can get to. And that's the difference, because we get disappointed that Ben Simmons has the intangibles, doesn't apply the intangibles. I don't think that Rudy Gobert has the intangibles. This is what Rudy Gobert is. And Rudy Gobert is a good player, but 16 points per game should not be what Ben Simmons is. He can be significantly better than that. This version of Rudy Gobert, this is what he is. That's the big difference. Huge difference. Brodes, in your eyes, what moves do the Phillies need to make in order to be a legit contender? Well, they need starting pitching help. I don't think that Nola, Wheeler, Eflin is a good enough top three starting pitching-wise to be that force. You know, you're going to have to compete with the Mets. And the Mets have a nice rotation. The Braves have a nice rotation. The Nationals have a nice rotation. You're going to have to really apply another starter, and like a real one. Fair? Garrett Cole, that's a real one. Justin Verlander, that's a real one. Aaron Nola's not a real one. Zach Wheeler's not a real one. If you can find a way to enter someone in the top of your rotation, slide everyone down. So someone who's a stud at 1. Then at number 2 is Nola. 3 is Wheeler. 4 is Eflin. So and they're not easy to find, but they become available. Garrett Cole was available. These guys are available. Trevor Bauer was a name, although I don't think he pops and he's as sexy of a star as some of these other names, because he did it for 1 year and it's different, and I don't know if I can trust it, but I would have taken a flyer on a 2-year deal, even though it was a lot of money. It's a 2-year deal, essentially, and there's opt-outs after each year and whatnot, but I know it ended up being a 3-year deal, but if you look at the money involved, that last year is pretty much nothing. So one serious starter to push back everybody else. Then a bullpen. I think offensively and center field. So you need center field, and then you're going to need a left fielder because Andrew McCutcheon's not going to be here. Yeah, I mean, there's still things to be made for sure. They're not like this finished product or anywhere close to it. Center field, they're going to need left field, and they're going to need a bullpen that makes sense, and they're going to need a starting pitcher. I do think they have a lot of infield stuff figured out with Didi, with Alec Boehm, with JT Realmuto. You're going to have Gene Segura here. You got Bryce Harper in right field. Like, there's some pieces that are serious for you, but you still have some things you got to figure out. Do I think Kyle Lowry with the Sixers is a real possibility? I think it's on the table. I think you just have to figure out 2 things. Is it worth trading 6 pieces for Kyle Lowry? And is Kyle Lowry going to stay? And it's going to take 6 pieces to trade for Kyle Lowry. 5 pieces, maybe. You're going to have to significantly hurt your depth, which is limited, but you're going to have to hurt your roster to go out and get Lowry. And would acquiring Lowry be, like, if you take 5 steps forward, 4 steps back, and now you're just 1 step forward by the end of it, is that 1 step forward worth it if next season you lose Kyle Lowry and then you lose all those pieces that you give up to make that move? And I'm not talking about the Danny Green or the Mike Scott or the Ferguson, but I'm talking about the Shake Milton that you throw in. I'm talking about the Matisse Thybulle that you have to throw in, or the Tyrese Maxey. If you make that move for one step forward, is one step forward enough for you to go out there and take that chance? And I trust Daryl Morey. So if he does make that move, I feel like he's going to be able to make it work, right? And I feel like he's got a plan. That's the thing. You can go in for one step forward this year and still have enough in play next year. You don't have to blow it all up, right? There is a way to do both. If we make the NBA Finals, would you go to one of those games? If I could, of course. If I could. I'm all in now at going to games, right? Like, in the beginning, we used to always have those hypotheticals. Would you feel comfortable going back to games when COVID is out of the question and whatnot? Now I think we know enough information where I would be easily going to any of these games for sure. So I'm definitely at that point. Bros, how do you think the Eagles should go after Kyle Rudolph because Zach Ertz won't be on the team next year? I did see the Kyle Rudolph news. I do know that after Dallas Goedert, there's not much in play for the tight end position, but I don't know if they can go out there and compete with other people to make that play. The Eagles are not going to be splashing in free agency this year because they got to find ways to cut money to get under the cap. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to be super quiet. You're going to have to pick up pieces here and there. I just don't know if with where the market is. And truth be told, I don't even know what his market is. I don't know what the asking price is going to be for Kyle Rudolph. I'm pretty intrigued and interested to see what it's going to be, but I don't know what it is going to be. And if it is something a little decent, I don't know if the Eagles are going to be in play because they got to shred salary, not so much add a bunch on. They're going to make some pieces. It's just not going to be as much as we want it to be. $2 donation by Bravesballe 8. Sixers win the finals, you get a korkmaz tattoo. No. Unless korkmaz drops 30 in the game that they win it, no. Because korkmaz won't be a part of them winning a championship. They'd probably win a championship if korkmaz is no longer in the rotation. That's when they win their championship, when korkmaz isn't playing. So that's why I'm going to have to say no to this one. But thank you so much for the $2 donation. It's a great thought, but they're not going to win with him being a part of it. If he drops 30 in the game they clinch to win the title, then yes, I will do it. If he drops 30 in that game. How about that? Is there a way that we can beat Tobias without the Jazz? Yeah, can we beat Tobias without the Jazz? Can we beat the Jazz without Tobias? Sure. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Sixers the other night. They beat the Sixers a few games prior. They're the last matchup before. Bad teams beat good teams. So can a good team that's unhealthy beat another good team? Absolutely. Is there a way? Absolutely there's a way. This is the NBA where garbage teams beat good teams. So why can't an unhealthy good team beat a good team? Of course it can happen. Is it a high possibility? I don't know. That's why I'm kind of excited for tonight. How are they going to look? What is their compete level going to be like? Are you going to see them play the way they did against the Pacers? Is it going to be a dud? Are we going to sit back in this chair for the post-game pod and go, well, that's kind of what we expected with Tobias? Or are we going to say, I'm a little pleasantly surprised? Or are we going to say, well, the Jazz just didn't make their shots? Where are we going to be after this game? I'm excited to find out. But is there a way that we can beat the Jazz without Tobias? I think the answer to that is yes. Tickets will be mad expensive. I'm curious what it's going to be like. I know the higher demand is going to raise it because there's limited seats and limited capacity. But it also can't get too outrageous either, right? Because people are going through issues financially right now because of the pandemic. I don't think they could just explode to this obnoxious level where it's insane and you just can't afford them. There's got to be a balance, right? You'd imagine. But of course, that would be me logically thinking. And since when has sports and anything related to selling items in sports ever been logical? Everything has always been the complete opposite. It'll probably be $600 for a Phillies ticket up at the top. Would you trade for Forsberg and Ekholm? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I would look at that. I would seriously consider it. Now, I'd have to put together a package that would make a lot of sense for me, obviously. I'm not just throwing things their way, but I was having a conversation with one of my buddies last night about it, right? And You are now in the category of it's okay to give up prospects. It's okay to give up first-round picks. When Hextall was here, what was it all about? Rebuild. Get your prospect pool going. Find younger talent. Get some of these young defensemen up. Well, what happens after that? Now you're in like, hey, we're here mode. And once you're in let's go for it mode, it's time to now trade some of these prospects, trade some of your draft picks, make your team better via the trade. So I'm all in on moving prospects around and getting these talented players. The problem is Ekholm, Forsberg. They both have 1 year left on their deal. So they have the rest of this season and then 1 full year left. Make sure that your package makes a lot of sense for that type of contract remaining. And are you possibly bringing them back afterwards? Where do you stand on that? Where do they stand on that? Would they be willing to sign a contract extension here in Philadelphia? How does that work with the cap space and where you are with the cap right now as well? So I just think it's time to make a push. It's time to make some trades. It's time to go out full throttle, give up some prospects, give up some first-round picks. Hell, maybe you got to give up Nolan Patrick. I'm all in for that. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I don't believe in Nolan Patrick. Trade some guys. It's at that point now where you're in that mode. Go out and make some trades. I am there for it. Is Bryce Harper a top 15 player? Yes. Yes. And even if he's not, right? Let's say he's top 20. Let's look up top 50 MLB players just to see where like a list is to see where that wouldn't say that he is bad. What that would say is there's so much talent. If he's not top 15. Now here's the problem. They threw pitchers in there. So with pitchers, this is where MLB, this was on February 18th. MLB Network's top 100. All right. Starting with 15, I'll go. And I will say that Bryce Harper did not make the list. And he's not in the top 20, but they threw pitchers in there, so I don't think it's fair. Francisco Lindor at 15. DJ LeMahieu at 14. Nolan Arenado at 13. Shane Bieber at 12. Garrett Cole at 11. So there's 2 pitchers there. Cody Bellinger at 10. Christian Yelich at 9. Anthony Rendon at 8. Ronald Acuna Jr. at 7. Tatis Jr. at 6. Juan Soto at 5. Freddie Freeman at 4. Jacob deGrom at 3. Mookie Betts at 2. And Mike Trout at 1. I have no issues with any of those guys. I thought DJ LeMahieu had a good season in New York, obviously. Trevor Story's a stud. He's at 16. Bregman's at 17. Machado at 18. Where is Bryce Harper? So they have Bryce Harper at 22. So here's my point. They have Bryce Harper at 22. If you take away Shane Bieber, Garrett Cole, and Jacob deGrom, he's now 19. So they see him as 19. And that's okay with me. That's fine. That is not a knock on Bryce Harper. If you're telling me Bryce Harper is in the category of Francisco Lindor, George Springer, Nolan Arenado, like he's in that category of guys, Aaron Judge, Matt Chapman, like that's what he's surrounded by, Manny Machado, Trevor Story, that's fine. Now, is he next to Mookie Betts? No, he's not next to Mookie Betts. Is he next to Mike Trout? No, but those players are rare. Those players are not common. Those players are not easy to find. If Bryce Harper's name pops more, that's fine. He's got more swag to him. He's more of a face of the game than some of these other players around him, like Matt Chapman, Aaron Judge, like he's right around Aaron Judge, right around George Springer, right around Manny Machado, right around Alex Bregman. That's fine. That's what type of player you have. That's a really good player. I think seeing Bryce Harper at 19, and I like this topic. I think it's a fascinating topic, and I'm actually going to write it down because I think it could be a fun pod to do, to be honest with you. It's like look at the top 100 and talk a little baseball and put it in perspective with Bryce Harper. I like this topic. It's fun. It more shows, though, the depth at the talented department in the MLB more than Bryce Harper stinks. It shows you where the league is at in excitement and young talent. That's where I'm at there. Should the Phillies take a shot on Verlander? Oh man, Verlander's getting up there in age. He is. Verlander's getting up there in age. Would you rather see the Sixers go for Kyle Lowry or George Hill? I'm torn. I really don't know which way to go on that. I see the positives in both sides. I think Kyle Lowry would help this team, but I would really want. It would really come down to him staying afterwards. If he stays afterwards, then I would feel significantly better about it. All right, so top 50 NBA players. Someone asked for the list of the top. This was on December 22nd. I'm trying to find something more recent. Now, this was written January of 2021. You want the top 10? This is the top 10 list for NBC Sports. You got Jokic coming in at number 10. Joel Embiid coming in at 9. Luka Doncic at 8. Anthony Davis at 7. Kawhi at 6. James Harden at 5. Steph Curry at 4. Giannis at 3. KD at 2. LeBron James at 1. Guess you can't really argue with that list very much, right? Damian Lillard's 11. Beal is 12. Tatum 13. Jimmy Butler 14. How about this Suns team? Because they put Chris Paul at 16. This Suns team's unreal. And that Devin Booker, by the way, what happened last night was a joke. It was embarrassing. Jake Elliott says opening day tickets are $500 and first game back is $225. I haven't seen any prices. I don't know if that's reality or not, and I'm not saying that you're making that up. I personally haven't seen anything. Can someone link ticket prices? I feel like that's a little extreme. I don't know who's spending $500 to go to a Phillies game right now, to be honest with you, unless you're talking about for the first game back. For what? Sixers Flyers is $225. Who's spending that type of money to go to a Phillies game? $500. See, if they make it that high, who's going? Who's going there? Thank you so much for the $2 donation, though, Jake. I really do appreciate Jake Elliott. But yeah, thank you so much for the $2 donation. That's outrageous. That's outrageous. Prediction for tonight, I don't think that they win. That's reality. I do not think that they win. Oh, it's 10 o'clock already. Wow. That hour flew by. That hour flew the hell by. I am stunned. Now, we've been live for 57 minutes and 50 seconds. I do a 1 hour show, so that means I will be going 2 minutes past 10 because I started late because I'm a horrible human being. So that is my fault. I have to type this email out real quick. Let me just send that email. Boom. Upper deck tickets. Oh, hold on. Are cheap. Like, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're talking about my section for the Flyers games are $370 on SeatGeek when they're normally $160. This is from Evan. Wow, $370 for a Flyers game right now. I would never. I would never spend that money on a Flyers game right now. Even $160, I wouldn't even spend on a Flyers game right now, to be honest with you. If you're like, hey, you can go to the next Flyers game when they come back with fans for $160, I'm watching it my ass on the couch in the comfort of my own home. That's reality of the situation. Citizens Bank Park is one of my favorites. It's a beautiful ballpark. It really is. It is a really nice ballpark. StubHub had... Whoops. Sorry, people are commenting as I tried to hit it. StubHub had him at $500, I think, and Sixers are selling them to the season ticket holders for $80 minimum. So the resale is probably $150 or $250. I haven't seen any personal information on this stuff. I'm just basing it off of the comments right now. So I don't I don't have any information myself. I haven't seen anything. I haven't done any research on it at all. And it looks like Tobias Harris is a go for tonight. Does it look that way? Let's look up Tobias Harris. I did not see it. I'm looking it up. And I'm not surprised. If he was questionable for the last game, I haven't seen anything. Oh, yeah, he expected to be back. I kind of figured that because he was almost going to play next game, and if he was almost going to play next game, that means he probably was going to play against Utah. So I think that, it doesn't surprise me. I don't know if it's the best idea. I would have said, and I don't have the medical information. They have the medical information. But I just wonder if this is the best thing for him. They aren't rolling him out. Well, when that starts happening, I think it's because they're going to play him. If they're not going to rule him out, it's probably because they're going to play him. So something to look out for tonight. I don't think it's the best idea in the world. I think you rest him until after the All-Star break just for, why take the risk? What's the risk here? What's the reward? High risk, low reward, in my opinion, but it is what it is. So with that being said, thank you all so much for coming into this episode of Coffee with Brodes. We just hit the 1 hour mark. Thank you guys so much. And look, I'll see you tonight after the Sixers game, of course, for the post-game podcast. And, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. So we do every Wednesday Hump Day giveaway on Twitter at Brodes81. In just a couple of minutes, let me get set up and the stream and all, but I will be posting the next giveaway very, very, very shortly. So go be aware at Brodes81. Be on the lookout. Enter to win the giveaway. See you guys there. And look, see you in the morning as well. Coffee with Brodes tomorrow a.m. 9 a.m. Tomorrow a.m. Tomorrow 9 a.m. That's what I meant. Tomorrow 9 a.m. See you guys later.